one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. This gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2 3. 1 2 3. Finish.
I can't even think about all of the shit I did to fit in. Past hard to watch like a fucking scary movie. I'm always happy to meet somebody that never knew me. Change for the better, hope niggas are living through me. I put it all on the wax so the people can know the true me. Hard to remain sane when the people you love the most is what's causing the damn pain. Y'all beef by the same thing, we ain't playing the same game. It's all for my family. She the girl of your fucking dreams, but to me she a plain Jane. You dipper and ball man, I duck when them calls came. This that higher level thinking. I'm the type to jump the fuck off of the shit before it's sinking. Not here for no new shit, my game slider boosted. Ain't I don't have to prove shit, Rockstar fight the fool shit. My movie, this the new script. I want a life with no bullshit, nigga. I know on these news clips, that's why I dap him and move quick. Won't be around when they move switch, won't be around when they lose clips, won't be around for they lose lips. Might be the reason they pull shit. Yeah.
Yesterday's price is not today's price, Ravens. What you thought you were going to have to pay him, you're going to have to pay him more.
Welcome back to another episode of Kicking It with Saint. I am your host, the proprietor of this here sit down. Nah, check me out, bro. I don't know why I like to do that shit. Every time I hear Shannon Sharp do that, I'm the proprietor of this here, whatever the fuck he say after that. It shit just makes me laugh, bro. But I gotta say something. My fucking Twitter account has been permanently suspended. And I done appealed it. They're not gonna unsuspend it. I done appealed all the suspensions, and I done been suspended off of Twitter like 6-7 times this year. So technically, it's fair to be suspended permanently if you done been suspended that many times. However, none of the times I done been suspended, I should have been suspended. And what's really irritating me about the situation is, how can you continuously say you doing a thorough review when you are not doing a thorough review, bro? Every single tweet that done made me get suspended should have been unsuspended. Like, multiple times, one of my brothers kept tweeting at me and saying stupid shit to me, and we was just jokingly, like it wasn't nothing serious. And I tweet him like, bro, fuck you. And they suspended me for that. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm still sick. But I'm like, yo, wait a minute, yo, you can literally go check that out, bro, so you can see that I shouldn't be suspended for that. Like, it'll be a completely different situation if I'm legitimately pissed off, telling, hey, fuck you. I don't even do that on Twitter. So that's the first thing. I got suspended like 2 or 3 times off of that. Off of like just having a conversation, a back and forth with my brother. A lighthearted, I don't even know if you call it light. Me and him that's how we talk to each other. And he initiated all 3 of them. And I'm the one who got suspended. So I was like, okay, bro, this is wild. And they didn't unsuspend me for none of those. So I'm like, yo, y'all clearly did not do a thorough review. So that's the first thing. Well, that might have been the first and second thing. But then next, the other tweet that got me suspended is on, bro, it was a WWE tweet when Elias, back when he was, I think he was, what was his fake character's name? Whatever, when he was playing as that other character. I cannot remember this dude's name at the moment. But I was like, yo, I hope KO murked this whole family, like beat up the whole family. I got suspended for that. And I'm like, and I got suspended for like 6 days for that. And I'm like, yo, it's no way that y'all suspend me for that just because y'all don't watch wrestling. And so y'all don't understand the context of which I am speaking in. All right. I try to appeal that. Clearly they didn't do a thorough review because that didn't get unsuspended. And now this. I get permanently suspended because under a Jalen Rose tweet, I tweeted, my problem is that people are grouping Kanye and Kyrie in together. And it's really Kanye fans is doing that. Because Kanye has shown he is blatantly being anti-Semitic. Kyrie Irving did not intend to be anti-Semitic. It's a difference. And I don't appreciate people grouping Kyrie and Kanye into the same category just to try to save face for Kanye. That's doing a huge disservice to Kyrie. And the people who are bandwagoning this, trying to defend this for Kanye, I said, are coons. And I got fucking suspended. I don't understand it. I'm not creating a new Twitter. Twitter will probably not exist for me until I blow up, bro. And they gonna unsuspend my shit when I blow up, bro. Cause I'm telling you, bro. Twitter lucky I'm broke and ain't rich, bro. I'm telling you, cause it's some whole shit for what they done suspended me for, bro. And I know they not gonna do no thorough review to unsuspend my shit, man. Dead ass, man. Twitter pissed me off, man. That's some bullshit. It's people out here really tweeting ridiculous shit, man. And I'm the one who gets man. I'm not happy about it. But listen, we're here to talk about the start of Week 10 football, man. The Carolina Panthers went at home to take on the Atlanta Falcons. What's crazy about this division, bro, the NFC South, 2 teams have 4 wins. The other 2 teams have 3 wins. First place is separated by a loss. The division is basically separated. Third and fourth teams is separated from those 2 first place teams basically by a game. This division is absolute garbage. They took, and I apologize, Brady, I'm not calling you garbage, my guy. I'm just calling the division garbage. I still think Tampa Bay gonna go on a run and get over the hump. My thing is, this division done took the place of the Cowboys division when that was the division that was trash, who could win with bad records and shit. Yeah, now that division got straight studs in it, even though I'm still not a believer in the Cowboys and the Giants. But either way, with that being said, Thursday night football game to kick off the season. I cannot for the life of me. I said it. Maybe every team I think got to play on Thursday night football, so we was bound to get a game like this. And when you got 2 teams like this playing bad, you wasn't gonna want to see them on Thursday night football anyways, regardless of who they was playing. Unless they was playing against a Pat Mahomes and he was whooping their ass, and then I done heard people say they'll change the channel even when it's a blowout. So with that, you really can't please everybody. But I did for some fucking reason. I legitimately watched this game all the way till it was 0 seconds left on the clock. Till like the coaches was walking across the field shaking each other's hands. I don't know why. The first kick of the game, the first points of the game, Carolina had a doink field goal that bopped off of the side of the field goal bar, crossbar, and then went in. So you should have known the type of game we were going to have. And I cannot for the life of me understand why Carolina. I mean, I respect the fact that Carolina's defense is good enough to when they decide to play great, to keep them in games. And I do understand in certain games, like the run defense that they displayed last week was just not even last week, Sunday. That was just god awful. That was god awful. You can't have it. You can't have it. But they were far, far and away better tonight. Even though Atlanta is a good run team, you wouldn't have noticed it because Carolina ran for their running back. What is their Foreman? I think his name is Devontae Foreman. He ran for like 120 plus yards on the ground tonight, bro. Dominated. Now, with this game feeling like it was a 2-touchdown game for the majority of the game, Carolina having the lead, it didn't feel like this game would ever get close for the simple reason Mariota was so inaccurate with the football. And I want to say something about this game, bro. I tried to give defenders a break, bro. Talking about how they miss and dropping catches. My guy, Carolina this Carolina-Atlanta game had about 6, 7, 8, 9 dropped interceptions. And none of them were difficult interceptions. Every single one of them were straight up pitch and catch interceptions. None of them none of the interceptions that got dropped tonight needed a big play to be made on it, like some spectacular type of move. Every single one of them was straight up pitch and catch interceptions. Every single one of them damn near was dropped. And then when Carolina did catch an interception, shit got called back. Because Mariota, for some fucking reason, decided when he was getting sacked to try to throw the ball off of his back. And he lucky that shit he was called down. Mariota had a game tonight in which, when you take away the last drive that they scored on, every play before that, it was like, yo, what is Marcus Mariota doing? And this is why, when I had did my quarterback rankings that I did not finish, because I had got a lot of things was happening in my life. This is why I had him ranked as the last quarterback in the NFL. Because Marcus Mariota is not a good quarterback. That's why it was confusing to me that Atlanta signed him. Not only signed him, it ain't even signing him. It's having him be a starter, bro. The production that Marcus Mariota is giving you right now, Desmond Ridder can literally give you the same thing. I cannot imagine he would play that much worse than how Marcus Mariota is playing. And one of the things that just blows me away, because I don't even think Arthur Smith is a bad head coach. I can't tell you if he a good one yet, but what I can tell you is the fact that he is allowed in a division that is clearly bad this year, separated by what, a game, like I said, and you're only separated from the Patriots by a loss. I mean the Bucks by a loss. I cannot understand why you are continuously going out there looking at Mario to be so erratic in every game, inconsistent in every game, and so inaccurate, and continue to let this shit happen when you have a chance to win this division. And I understand it if you just don't give a damn and you trying to get a good quarterback in this draft, so you just trying to play things how they go. But if you are actually trying to go out there and win like everybody say they are, it just don't make too much sense to me having Mariota. And if Desmond Ridder is nowhere near as good as Marcus Mariota right now, that is a wild draft pick to me. So, if you watch this game tonight, Carolina, if they were a good team, would have won this fucking game by 100 points. Marcus Mariota in the offense for the Falcons was atrocious. And the Panthers, and I understand that the weather was terrible tonight, but still. And I like 84 for the Falcons, Patterson. But, man, that's not going to... Listen, I understand the division being as bad as it is, so some of the shit I'm saying really ain't... Like, if I say that's not going to get it done, and then people going to like, well, you know, the division only say... I get all that. But at the end of the day, to me... And then you got the kicker for the Falcons, who's supposed to be some good... Missed 2 kicks this game. Like, I understand what this division is, what the records say, and they in second place. This is not a good team. Neither one of these are good football teams. But the Falcons are especially not good. I think the tight end that you drafted with the 4th pick last year had 1 catch for 10 yards in this game. This is my problem. And I don't think that this Pitts is a bad player. I'm not even going at Pitts. Pitts should not have been drafted. I'm not saying he didn't deserve to be drafted 4th. I'm saying he should have been drafted by a team that actually needed him. The Falcons' list of needs did not include a tight end in the top 4. And this should not have been one of them situations where we draft the best player on the board. Bro, you got the 4th pick. You need to draft a player that can impact your team right now, and you got the 4th pick to make that decision. Like, to me, them drafting, and when you look at the players that was taken, like, this is no shot at Pitts, but Pitts did not get drafted by a team that he should have gotten drafted by. I do not blame him for his lack of production and the fact that he haven't turned into a Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce, George Kittle type of player, because that's not on him. And even if he were to be putting up crazy numbers in a bad system, people would still have something to say. I really think a disservice was done to Kyle Pitts when he was drafted by the Atlanta Falcons. They could have drafted a quarterback to play behind Matt Ryan and get ready to move the team for Matt Ryan. They could have drafted a linebacker. They could have drafted a corner. They could have drafted a position that was in more value and need, an offensive lineman. With the 4th pick in the draft, you just do not take a tight end unless for some reason you as a team like the Chiefs or the Ravens, who only ended up with a 4th pick because you made a trade, and the team that made the trade for you ended up playing so bad that you took their pick in the draft and it was that high. But for no other circumstance, if you are a team this bad, that it was as bad as Atlanta was, should you have ever have taken Kyle Pitts in that draft. So I'm not blaming Kyle Pitts for this dude jumped completely over the thing and into the stands with the Carolina fans, number 33. That is hilarious. But Kyle Pitts, I do not blame Kyle Pitts for what's transpiring right now. For one, you got a terrible quarterback. You done had a bad quarterback the last 2 years. On top of that, and I really do believe they should give Kyle Pitts Kyle Pitts is just being done a huge disservice, bro. I can't Marcus Mariota is more inaccurate than fucking Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's problem is his arm is just falling off. Like he just didn't have any gas in his arm. Marcus Mariota might got some gas, a little bit of gas or something in his arm. That's not the problem. The problem is how inaccurate he is. And so, and then like I told you, I don't care about those little short dink dunk routes that people use to jack up their passer ratings. I'm talking about when you're making throws down the field and whatnot, how accurate are you? And Marcus Mariota is not as accurate as he should be as an NFL starting quarterback. Which is, like I said, I don't understand Desmond Ridder not, especially when you're looking at P.J. Walker, who is not, in my opinion, putting on a show or anything like that. He had a decent game the last time he played the Falcons when he threw for 300 yards. But P.J. Walker is not lighting the world on fire, and they still got him out there. So I don't really understand why the Falcons, is going with Mariota, because this game to me definitely showed you that Mariota should, because Mariota probably walked away, I think, with like 1 interception in this game. Should have had about 5 or 6. But like I said, they dropped so many interceptions in this game on both sides that it made it literally on one of the drives towards the end of the game, a blitz had came on P.J. Walker, and he threw a ball right into the hands of the safety, and the safety just straight up dropped it. Most of the interceptions popped dudes right clean in the hands, and they just dropped every single one of them. I ain't seen this many DBs put their hands on their helmets in frustration because they just straight up dropping easy picks all. Like, bro, what do defenders do in practice when they drop this many picks in a game? I mean, because it's just ridiculous, bro. And then the Falcons' offensive line. I mean, good Lord have mercy. I think the Panthers had 5 or 6 sacks in this game. Probably could have had more than that. I told you, I like players on the Panthers defense. Brown, Burns, Thompson. They got a lot of great players on the Panthers defense. Is going to get overlooked because the record. But the Falcons' offensive line. And this is what I'm saying. Imagine what a great offensive lineman would be doing for you right now if you had made that decision in the draft rather than a Kyle Pitts. Because if you don't have a quarterback next year and Kyle Pitts is not a productive tight end for you, you're going to end up trying to trade him. If you don't try to trade him in the offseason, meaning you wasted a 4th pick in the draft, in the first round, on a tight end that you traded within, 2 to 3 years of drafting him. That's unacceptable. So listen, you hear me talk so often about different franchises making just stupid decisions that set the franchise back. The Packers using the first pick in their first round draft pick in that draft to draft Jordan Love. Just multiple teams. The Bears passing up on Deshaun Watson for fucking Mitchell Trubisky, bro. Like, it's just unacceptable some moves that some of these organizations make. And to me, I really, and some people might have a different viewpoint on it, but I just think drafting Kyle Pitts with that 4th pick in the draft, and I done been consistent on it. My videos last year on the shows, I was very clear that I did not think Kyle Pitts should have ended up in Atlanta. Kyle Pitts should have been a late pick in the first round because he should have went to a team that actually needed him, not a team that just decided to draft him, especially when you had some of the needs that the Falcons had. And one of my problems is the Falcons might have just straight up thought that Matt Ryan still had years left in him, so we could just draft Kyle Pitts. That made no sense. To me, just bad mismanagement on the team, on the part of the Falcons. And I know we talking about bits and pieces of the game, but I'm going really in depth on really why these two teams are where they are. And I think one of the reasons the Panthers are where they are is patchwork. You make a bet, and I talk about the Panthers all the time. You do Cam Newton the way you do him, but then you do patchwork with all this other thing. You go out and get Sam Darnold, who wasn't good, thinking that he still had something left in it. You go out and get Baker Mayfield, and look what he's doing for you right now. Now you got P.J. Walker starting. Instead of just and then, listen, I'm not too sure the Panthers don't end up finding a way to fuck it up and end up not getting a top pick in this draft. And if that happens, this is just terrible. Unless they have some type of game plan in order to bring over a franchise quarterback. I'm just somebody who believes you should be doing everything you can to get a franchise quarterback. Point blank period. I think if you don't have a franchise quarterback or a guy who you believe can be your franchise quarterback, then that's what the goal should be. To be doing everything possible to try to get that guy. Because you need that guy to win the ultimate prize. To take your team anywhere. Your team cannot go anywhere if they don't have that guy. And so for me, listen, I'm not mad that the Panthers won this game tonight because, like I said, it's a lot of teams in the NFC right now with 3 wins and shit like that. So they could still very well end up with a top pick in the draft. But I'm just saying, you don't have the quarterback of the future on your roster right now. No disrespect to P.J. Walker, but he's not the quarterback of the future for you. You probably don't got your head coach of the future right now. Steve Wilkes doing a good job, but he probably won't be on the team. I'm still not in agreement with them not trading DJ Moore. I think that was a mistake. You lose with him so you can win and lose without him. I do not understand not getting a first round draft pick for him, especially when it was reported that multiple first round draft picks, like multiple teams offered first round draft picks to get DJ Moore. I do not understand why you make the decision not to get DJ Moore. To trade DJ Moore. That just doesn't make any sense to me as a Carolina Panther, as from the outside looking in. However, if Carolina does go out and get a quarterback, that is a quarterback that you think, like we might think is a future franchise quarterback, then I'm wrong, because then you'll already have a receiver there. Which, while I said I don't think it's a smart decision, I'm gonna look wrong because obviously you got the quarterback now and you already had the receiver there, and so boom, boom, boom. However, think about this: I'm still gonna feel like I'm a little bit right, not because I don't want to be wrong, but because I'm not looking at this from the aspect of, oh, you need to trade him to get like if they were offering anything less than a first or second round, I'm not making the trade. However, when they offer me a first round pick, and if it's the Packers who have a bad record, I don't think giving them DJ Moore is going to improve their record to the point where I'm not going to end up with still a decent pick in the draft because of where they at right now as a team. But to me, a first round pick is what I got to use to get rid of DJ Moore, because I've been losing so much with him. His contract, I done extended him now. If I can get that contract off my books and I get a rookie quarterback over here that I think is the future, then I can just go make a trade for a superstar receiver to help my young quarterback out then. And my quarterback is on a rookie deal, and I don't have to pay a receiver. Well, you still do got to pay a receiver, but I guess either way it would be right for them then, I guess, because I'm saying you could go trade for a receiver, but I mean, some people might look at it and be like, well, you already have one if you keep DJ. So I guess y'all right ultimately. I guess I didn't think that one all the way through. Or either I'm not thinking all the way right now. No, because my thing is still that first round pick. Bro, you could possibly get a first round pick and get your quarterback with your pick and another receiver in the draft with the Packers pick. So you're replacing that already, and you got a receiver on a rookie contract. That was my point. And if it comes to the point where you're not striking with the young receiver, then you can go out and make a trade for a receiver. That was my whole point. So no. I take back that I was completely wrong part. But yo, let's look ahead to week 10. So Josh Allen, my guy, Mr. Allen, hurt. Could not be playing. I don't do the point spreads and things of that nature, but I did see Josh Allen, the point spreads of them predicting the games been going down over the last couple of days. Meaning they think Josh Allen will not be playing in this game. So if Josh Allen don't play in this game, I'm going to address it like this, basically. If Josh Allen don't play, I got the Vikings. Even though I really still want to take, I still kind of want to take the Buffalo Bills, to be honest with you. Nah, I'm not going to do that because the Buffalo Bills can't run the fucking ball. If they could run the ball halfway decent, I probably would take them. Because they do not run the ball nowhere near decent, I can't take them. So if the Vikings, I'm going to take the Vikings to win this game if Josh Allen does not play. If Josh Allen feel like he's good enough to where he can play in this game, I'm taking the Buffalo Bills, because I do not believe in the Vikings. Like I said, you got people out there who don't believe in the Dolphins. I don't believe in the Vikings. Listen, I like the Vikings pieces. I love the pieces the Vikings have. And I like Kirk Cousins. Kirko Chains, that's cool. When the money is on the line, I have no faith in Kirk Cousins. Kirko Chains becomes Kirk Cousins again. And so if you gave me Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and gave them what Kirk Cousins got working with the Vikings, I'd take the Vikings in damn near every game, because that's an insane supporting cast to have. But I just don't have a shit ton of faith. And plus, I'm really interested to see how Kirk Cousins play on the road in Buffalo, fans against you, a loud ruckus crowd. Like I'm interested to see what type of performance he put up in this game. So if Josh Allen plays, I am taking the Bills. But if he does not, I gotta take the Vikings, bro. Because Josh Allen, like I think he make up like 80 something or 92% of the offense for this team. Like he done scored over 80% of their touchdowns this year, run or pass. That's insane. So that's clearly telling me that's a team that needs Josh Allen on the field. The next game that we're gonna talk about. The Cleveland Browns take on the Miami Dolphins Sunday, 1:00 game. This game is in Miami. Now, I don't know if this is going to be one of them games. Because sometimes Miami be having them games where it be hot as shit. I'm imagining this ain't the time of the year where it's going to be hot as shit in Miami. But I don't know because I don't live in Miami and I've never been to Miami. So, I briefly dated a female that was born in Miami. And I told her I didn't like one day we talked for a while, and just one day randomly I told her I did not like Kodak. Like I didn't say I didn't like Kodak, I didn't really think his music was that great. Now you can't tell nobody from Florida that, bro, because they look at Kodak as like a god. And shit went downhill from that point on, bro. Dead ass shit just went downhill, which did, like I said, that's none of that ever gonna bother me. But that was one of the females that I just ended up stopped talking to because I guess I just did. And she, you know what though? She was one of the females that still was attached to her last ex. I ain't even gonna tell y'all the stuff that she used to tell me about her ex, bro. Because for one, I don't do that type shit. But if y'all could have just heard some of the shit, if y'all could hear a lot of the shit that a lot of the females that I fuck around with for a little minute, not a little minute, a little minute seemed a little longer than a little second. So if y'all could hear some of the stories though that I've been told from females that I fuck with for a little second, Jesus Christ, bro. Like it's insane. Like some of the shit that they exes do, that they tell me that they exes do to them, and they usually end up back with their ex. So I just, bro, it's just so insane to me, bro. It's so insane to me. But we not here to talk about shit like that. We're here to talk about Deshaun Watson is still not back for the Cleveland Browns. And listen, I understand that the Cleveland Browns beat Joe Burrow, but Joe Burrow got a curse or something. I do think this will be a closer game. This is the thing, however. Miami has an atrocious defense at the moment. They can't. I hate Miami's defense, bro. They are bad. However, you do got Nick Chubb on week 2 now from being with the team. So Nick Chubb could make an impact. However, if you cannot stop Nick Chubb, and I meant Bradley Chubb. If you cannot stop Nick Chubb, Bradley Chubb will not matter. Nick Chubb cannot dice you up. Because if Nick Chubb get going, then that means Amari Cooper gonna be getting wide the fuck open. That's how Kevin Stefanski do this shit. That means Kareem Hunt gonna start giving you a dose of medicine. And the Dolphins defense seemed to be they did just give up 178 fucking yards to a quarterback. So the second best running back in the NFL, I would not be shocked if he ended up doing something similar. So the Miami Dolphins defense gives me no confidence that they can go out here and stop Nick Chubb. However, I don't really have that much faith that the defense for the Browns can go out there and stop Miami's offense. Because I think Miami's offense can put up 30 points on the Browns, but I don't think the Browns will end up putting up 30 points on Miami. While the Miami Dolphins defense is terrible. I just don't think as good as I just as highly as I just talked about Chubb and if things go right for the Browns offense, I still don't know if I can see them going to Miami putting up 30 plus points, because I think that's what you might need to beat the Miami Dolphins is 30 plus points. And Miami can play from behind. They got a lot of wins this year from behind and big dub, like a lot of big leads they done came back from. So I'm going to take Miami in this game at home. I don't think it'll be a blowout. I actually think it'll be a rather high-scoring game, because I think Cleveland can pop 26, 28 points, get close to that 30, and I think Miami will probably pop 32 points in this game, because I also have no faith in Cleveland's secondary. For some reason, Cleveland secondary is going to give up big plays at least once or twice a game. It just is what it is. They're going to blow a coverage at some point in time. Like, I don't know why Cleveland's like this. I really don't. But I'm taking Cleveland to win that. I'm taking Miami to win that game at home. Denver, back in the States, taking and off of the bye week. I saw somebody tweet last week. Can't see these things now because, suspension on Twitter for permanently. But the Denver Broncos, I saw somebody tweet last week. Russ took a L even on his week off, and that shit had confused me for a second because I saw the picture before I actually read the tweet, but that's neither here nor there. Anyways, the Broncos are on the road taking on the Tennessee Titans. Now, I don't think Derrick Henry is going to have a monster game against this Denver defense, and apologies for the sniffling. I think Denver's defense is one of the better defenses that the Tennessee Titans will play this year. I actually don't think this is a defense, and I'm not too familiar or sure about the run defense stats for the Broncos. However, the thing with the Broncos is I do believe they will stifle the pass game for the Tennessee Titans, and I don't know if Malik Willis or Tannehill will play. I don't know which one of them will be starting in this game for Tennessee. I'm almost certain Derrick Henry will be starting, though, so that's really all that matters. But I don't think a passing game will be able to get going at all for the Titans. And I also think the Denver Broncos will find a way to make it a very long, rough game for Derrick Henry. Like, if Derrick Henry have a big game, I don't think he'll have a big game for one, but I think if he have big numbers, it'll come from having to carry the rock probably 30, 40 times. Because they not handing them 40 carries. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to, though. But I just think the Denver Broncos is like, I think they act like I really think they got a good rush defense, bro. I don't have the numbers sitting in front of me, but I'm almost certain Denver's run defense is just as good as the pass defense. Like, I just love Denver's defense. Y'all done heard me rave about Denver's defense all year. Could you imagine if Denver's offense could give them anything? Like, I'm not even saying be great. I'm just saying be competent. And they would have won most of the games they done played. Like, Denver's defense is just an unbelievably great defense that people don't talk enough about because the team isn't great. But I do think this is one of them games that Denver could get a win, and they could find a way to sneakily find a way to get back into this if they can string together a couple wins. Plus, I understand Russ ain't been that great this year. I think he got like 6 touchdowns on the season, or 7 touchdowns and like 3 or 4 interceptions, something like that. Like probably 6 and 4, I think. I could be wrong. He might got, I think it's 7 and 4 actually. Either way, he haven't been great. And I'm gonna say something else. I'm glad I just thought about this. Yo, this Pete Carroll, every fucking opportunity he get to take a shot at Russell Wilson, like, bro, grow up, bro. Your old ass like 60 or 70 years old, bro. Taking shots at Russ every opportunity you get. I find it so funny that the media think it's cool for Russ and not Shannon Sharp because he called him out. But every time this dude do an interview damn near now, he'd take a shot at Russ. Could you imagine what the media would be saying if Russ took a shot at Pete Carroll every fucking time Pete Carroll he did an interview? And then could you imagine if Russ was the team with the winning record and Pete was losing and Russ decided to snoop low and hit low? Like, that's what I'm saying, bro. That shit to me is so immature, bro. Like, and it's just so funny to me who they allow to do stupid shit like this. Because I'm telling you, they assassinate Russell Wilson's character every chance they get. But could you imagine if he was doing what Pete Carroll was doing right now? And what some of these childish-ass players is doing when they take shots at Russ every chance they get? Like, it's ridiculous. Like, you can say whatever you want to about this dude. The dude, you did not win those games without this man. Point blank, period. So I don't understand this revisionist history. And it's this need to try to make him look bad. Like, that shit just irritates me so much because I cannot remember the last white player that got this type of treatment once he left a team after being there so long. I just can't remember that white player that got his character assassinated like this or was constantly taking shots at. But, I could be wrong. But I'm taking Denver to win this game on the road in Tennessee. Detroit headed to Chicago to take on the Bears. Bro, I thought I was having a conversation, like, a nice little debate with somebody in a YouTube comment section about Justin Fields and the Bears under a video because Shady McCoy said on a video this week on one of his on the show Speak that he know what his eyes see. He don't think Justin Fields is a thrower of the football, yada yada yada, and people gonna say he a hater. And I agree with what Shady's saying because I'm watching these games too. Like, I know what I see. But this one dude, like, man, it's just unbelievable how childish people get when you don't agree with what they saying, and how they first instinct is to call you like stupid or something like that, or tell you that you got stupid takes and you don't watch football and you don't know ball, and it's not even educated things that they saying. Now listen, I understand Justin Fields has been good over his last 3 games. They have clearly made an improvement. I said that. They need to lean more into what he does best. What Justin Fields does best right now is run the football. So you need to build the offense around him running the football and build everything else off of that. However, while in the process of doing that, you got to figure out a way for him to become a more consistent passer. And I don't care how high a passer rating is off of dinking and dunking. I'm talking about if you want it, and I don't care about the shots he take once in a lifetime that he hit every once in a while. I'm talking about you need to have a consistent pass game. I'm not saying I want him to go out there pass for 300 yards a game, but he is going to eventually have to go out there and pass and be able to pass the ball confidently if this Bears team want to get to the next level. Point blank period. You can't rely on him going out there running for 100+ yards a game. Like, it can't happen. Not to mention, there is passes there that he can hit. He is just right now inaccurate. He don't trust throws. If it's not college open, it's not open to him. It's a lot of different parts of his game that can be fixed. But for some fucking reason, the two dudes who I was talking to made it seem as though I was just telling them the dude was trash, he couldn't be better. And they was basically saying he playing winning football. I said I don't think Justin Fields done played 4 quarters of winning football. They kept making it seem like he had been playing 4 quarters of winning football. And I'm like, he haven't played 4 quarters of winning football all year. And the dude rebutted off of saying basically, yeah. And then when I made it, he tried to say, did I ever say this? And I'm like, okay, so now we finna get literal. And it's no longer a read between the lines type of conversation. And we use context clues to understand what both dudes is trying to imply within the most characters we willing to use. No, this dude decided. And then, mind you, the dude tried to throw up a whole bunch of different stats and stuff like. And I just always think it's funny when people try to use stats to tell you that somebody playing good when the eye test don't tell you that most players is playing good. Because it's very easy to see when the eye test tell you a player is playing good, and then you go and look at the stats and it's like, yeah, obviously, because the eye test. Justin Fields, like I said, he is not putting together 4 quarters of winning football. Like, if you watching 4 quarters of Justin Fields and you watching some of these easy throws he missing, some of the off, like, and I'm not telling you that he can't get better at these things. He can. But right now, he is not playing 4 quarters of winning football. I didn't know that was hating. I didn't know that was taking a shot at him. I just thought that was me critiquing him at the moment. However, with that being said, I think they're going to end up beating the Lions. Because, you see, the Lions going to come off of a high from beating the Green Bay Packers last week. But see, I think the Green Bay Packers offense is probably the worst offense in football. And that's saying something, because the Bears, and that's another thing. You see how the Bears done made constant little improvements to get better over the last couple weeks? I see no improvements from the Packers, bro. They just going out there and doing the same old shit on a weekly basis to lose games. So I don't really care too much about that win for Detroit. I picked them to beat the Packers. So I'm picking the Bears, and this is a divisional game, but I'm picking the Bears to win this game. I do think the Bears will be I just think the Bears is a better team, to be completely honest with you, all around. And so I'm taking the Bears to win this game. The next game, the Texans head to New York to take, well, I know it's not technically in New York, but they take on the New York Giants. Now, I'm not going to have to spend too much time on this game. I think the Texans might be the worst team in football. They is definitely headed for a top 3 pick. If you are a Texans fan and you watch Davis Mills, you already know what I'm saying is true. Inaccurate, not really a great. Davis Mills is a backup quarterback, and the Texans got him starting at quarterback. And I don't know if they had too many options. I don't know. The Texans is a wild organization right now. I do think the Giants will win this game. I'm not the biggest fan of Daniel Jones. I don't think he is really that great. I think they win in spite of him, not because of him. But I do like Brian Daboll. I do like things that the Giants defense does, and I do like Saquon Barkley. And I think they'll figure out a way to beat a team that just is gonna struggle to score anyways. But when you can play a good sound defensive scheme against them, then it make it very hard for them to score, and they on the road. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Giants to win that game. Washington Commanders heading to Philly. Will Philadelphia move to 8-0 on the season? I believe so. I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles to win this game. I just think the Philadelphia Eagles is a top-notch team. Like, to me, they do so many things well. And I said it last week. The Philadelphia offense is a problem. The fact that you have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, a decent to above average to above decent run game with Miles Sanders, and the threat of Jalen Hurts running the ball. Like, to me, and Jalen Hurts is a spectacular leader from all indications. His connection with A.J. Brown already is unbelievable. I love the Eagles defense. I just cannot see the Eagles dropping this game at home. I think the Eagles actually going to go undefeated at home this year. I don't even know who else they play the rest of the season at home. But I think they'll go undefeated the rest of the way at home for the simple reason. This is a super dominant team in my opinion. And because they do so many things. And I think some people don't look at it that way because they're not beating teams by 30, 40 fucking points. And I just think that's insane. You just got to watch these games and look and understand what you're seeing. Or just watch the games, period, and you'll understand. Don't just be a hater. just watch the games. And they play a beautiful brand of football. And when they clicking on all cylinders, I don't know too many defenses that's going to be able to handle this. Now, I understand some people talk about the little things that Jalen Hurts still got to work on and things of that nature. But the fact of the matter is the offense that they running right now is working because of Jalen Hurts. His ability to run through his progressions, even if it's not a shit ton of progressions. If A.J. Brown your first progression, fuck that. That's great because he probably open. So I don't shade him for that like some people do. I think Jalen Hurts has been unbelievable this year. That's why he is my MVP candidate. Like he first in MVP voting for me. I think Patrick Mahomes is second for me. I cannot put him over Jalen Hurts for the simple reason Jalen Hurts' team is undefeated. And Jalen Hurts is a huge reason as to why his team is undefeated. You take Jalen Hurts off of this team, this is not an undefeated Eagles team. And so people out there who saying like trying to diminish Jalen Hurts' greatness and his accomplishments this year, yeah, save it. Because if he wasn't on this team, this is not an undefeated football team. So I'm taking the Eagles to win this game. Plus, I don't think the Washington Commanders are that bad of a team. I just think there's so many things going on with this team, and they got the worst. The biggest part of this team is the quarterback. And I understand what Taylor Heineke done over the years. I even saw people trying to say that they thought he was actually the answer for them at quarterback in the future. That's just crazy. You got a defensive-minded head coach that really is never going to make anything better on offense. It's like he's never going to, help an offense in a sense. So Taylor Heineke going to have to hope his OC and him figure shit out. Because I'm imagining you got Terry McLaurin. You got a decent running game when you want to run the ball. I just don't think – I even think they'll put up probably 14 points. They'll probably compete in this game for a stretch. But I just think at the end of the day, the talent for Philly is so superior to the talent for Washington. Philly gonna win a lot of games, not just because of how disciplined and how great they are, but they can win games off of talent. And I know that's something crazy to say, but you can get 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 wins in a season if you have just far more talent than some teams. And this is one of them games where Philly just go out there and do their job and let the talented boys eat. Yeah, I just don't see Philly losing this game, and I do understand that it is a divisional game. I get that. But this isn't Philadelphia. Plus, like I said, if you've been watching Philly this year and you've been watching Washington this year, no, I'm not going to tell you I've been watching all of Washington's games. But the games and the clips I have seen of Washington, I have watched all of Philly's games. Philly is a different team, bro. And I don't know why some people shade them the way they do. Like, I remember when people was talking about towards the beginning of the season, like, oh, Jalen Hurts don't got the touchdown throws, even though he was scoring with his feet. Now he's starting to put the touchdown throws in. To me, Jalen Hurts is definitely the MVP for me right now. I love Jalen Hurts. He absolutely killing it. But I got the Philadelphia Eagles winning that game. The Chargers. Go, Chargers, go. The Chargers head to, I think, San Francisco. That's where this is located, or this game is located. Either way, they take on the San Francisco 49ers. Justin Herbert will be without, I believe, Keenan Allen and without Mike Williams. So that'll be interesting. Can he? Nah, so we saw him do it last week against the Falcons, but the Falcons ain't the San Francisco 49ers. Now, I do think the San Francisco 49ers will win this game for the biggest reason they at home. And I do think if the defense can be healthy enough, they got enough people healthy, that they can make this a tough game for Justin Herbert. I actually think Justin Herbert might throw 2 interceptions in this game, if not have just a complete dud of a game. But the reason I think he could end up throwing a lot of passes in this game is, for one, they already overthrow Justin Herbert. They have him overthrowing a lot of different games. So when you're losing in a game like this, it will be no different. Barring Jimmy Garoppolo just coming out here having an absolute fucking dud, I think that the San Francisco 49ers can end up blowing the fucking doors off of the Chargers. Because for one, I don't think the Chargers is the team that some people think they are. And a lot of people is revising a preseason pick because they realize the Chargers ain't what they thought the Chargers would be. But the defense ain't good enough. The offense ain't good enough. And I understand they got injuries on the team, but, you know, it's hard for me to say. I'll get to that later. But I'm taking the San Francisco 49ers to win this game. If Justin Herbert, I don't think dinking and dunking it will be able to win this game. I just think the San Francisco 49ers defense at times is just too good to let you get away with just dinking it. And I actually think that's what could lead to some interceptions. Bobbles, batted passes, passes that get batted in the air. And then just simply, they have great Fred Warner might be the best middle linebacker in football. He definitely the best in pass coverage, in my opinion. What he can do in pass coverage is pretty much insane. I don't know how they keep drafting these linebackers who do what they do in pass coverage. Navarro Bowman, Patrick Willis, now Fred Warner. The San Francisco 49ers have the formula at the middle linebacking position at the moment, draft-wise. But I just think this will be a very tough day for the Chargers. Plus, I think Christian McCaffrey and this offense for the San Francisco 40, it's just, when Kyle Shanahan and this offense is clicking on all cylinders, man, it's just a thing of beauty. And I think it'll be just too much for the Chargers. Like I said, Jimmy Garoppolo could have one of them days, but I don't think this will be one of them days. I do think the Chargers will end up taking a tough loss here. The Indianapolis Colts, with their new head coach, Jeff Saturday, headed into Vegas to take on the Raiders, coming off of a loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars, a game in which Devontae Adams had an insane game. They was up by a lot of points. And, you know, just right now, bro, a lot of shit going. You know, it's actually funny. Both teams right now has got a lot of shit going on. You know, not a lot of, you know, OC got fired 1 week. Then we fired the head coach. Cannot for the life of me understand how Ballard kept his job, but I'm not here to promote people losing jobs. If all these other dudes, Frank Wright wasn't even a bad head coach. I just didn't think he was the coach for this team anymore. And like you said, if you want to say that you think Frank Wright still should have a job, I'm not gonna argue against it. Like I said, I think Frank Wright I don't think his role in this team being as bad as it was more on him than it was on Chris Ballard and the dumbass decisions that he done made as a GM. And then the owner let him get away with these fucking dumbass decisions. Like, I don't care if my head coach like Carson Wentz. You still had to sign off on going to get him. And not only that, why did you not just give him a second year with Carson Wentz instead of playing musical chairs with your quarterback, which is something that you've done over the last couple years, not realizing what type of effect that has on a football team. So instead of the continuous patchwork, instead of just committing to trying to go out and rebuild this team and get an actual quarterback, to me is as big a problem as Frank Wright was. But of course Ballard kept his job. But this will be an interesting game. I'm gonna take the Vegas Raiders. You know how I feel about the Raiders, man. I told y'all I didn't think adding Devontae Adams was gonna really do much for this team because I just didn't think this was a team. And I almost fell for it early in the offseason, fresh off of some of them signings. But then reality set down for me. I started thinking, you know, I started going over my. And then I was like, yeah, that Devontae Adams ain't going to do much for this Raiders team. Because it wasn't even the Devontae Adams trade that made me think the Raiders were going to do something. It was adding Chandler Jones to the Max Crosby thing. Because I just know what Derek Carr is. Plus, I didn't really expect him to get much out of Josh Jacobs, even though he is having a rebound year. But I think Vegas will win this game. Why do I think Vegas will win this game? Because I have no faith in the Colts quarterback. And while I don't think Vegas is a good team, the one thing Vegas will be able to do is put up at least 21 points. I think Vegas will be able to put up at least 21 points against this Colts defense. And I think it'll be tough for the Colts to put up any points against the Raiders. Even though the Raiders don't got the greatest defense, I just think they'll struggle more so with their quarterback, who haven't even thrown a touchdown in his first 2 weeks of playing, than it will be for the Raiders, who have Devontae Adams. So I'm taking the Raiders to win this game. Jacksonville is headed to Kansas City to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. Of course I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs, man. Come on, bro. You know I'm not betting against Pat McGoat. As I'm talking about Pat McGoat, I am literally looking at a commercial with Pat McGoat and Andy Reid on the State Farm plane, which is a hilarious commercial. But I'm taking this Kansas City to win this game. Listen, I still have faith that the Jacksonville Jaguars can become a great team with some of the pieces that they have in the construction of this team right now. They just got to, another year, add some more pieces in the offseason. But right now, I cannot trust Trevor Lawrence. And he is not playing against a great defense coming up, but this is a defense that can be very opportunistic against a quarterback that's pretty shaky against him. We done seen the Chiefs take advantage of shakiness multiple times. Plus, I think the Chiefs are starting to hit their stride as far as knowing how to score, understanding what they have to do to score in these games now that they don't have the big play threat of a Tyreek Hill. So, to me, and plus you got Pat Mahomes. I think he got, 21 touchdowns on the season. He averaging like 300 yards passing every game. Like, Pat Mahomes is just a freak. I love Pat Mahomes. I think he might be the greatest quarterback I done seen in my lifetime, not including like the wins that Brady got in the Super Bowl. Like, Pat Mahomes is unbelievable. It's hard for me to bet against him in this game. And I think the Jags have some good pieces. It's not that I think Juju is starting to have he's starting to get more familiar with the system, so he's starting to be able to do some things for him. Marquez Valdez-Scantling starting to do a couple things for him. Obviously, you still got the big dog, Travis Kelce. I just don't think that I think the Jags will make mistakes in this game. Not only do I think they will, and I do think the Jags could have a chance to stay in this game if they run the ball dominant like they've done in some of these wins they had. Like, if Travis Etienne can dominate, this is my problem. I thought that that the Chiefs defense would play better against Derrick Henry than they did last week, because they seem to be one of those teams that play rather good against Derrick Henry, because it's like they take it personal that Derrick Henry think he a good player, which Derrick Henry is a phenomenal player, and it's like they take that personal or something. They just like the challenge, and I think they will step up to the challenge of shutting down Travis Etienne. So, and I don't know if I think this game will be that close. I don't think it'll be like a crazy blowout or nothing like that. But I do think the Chiefs can end up winning this game. But now, and it's at home. Oh, man, yeah, this is definitely a Chiefs win. I'm taking the Chiefs in this one. The Dallas Cowboys. I think this is America's game of the week. The Dallas Cowboys head to Green Bay to take on the Green Bay Packers. And I saw, on Twitter before I was permanently suspended, it was a tweet that was like, where would you rather play, in Green Bay or Dallas? Or where would you rather sit and watch a game, in Green Bay or Dallas? Bro, who in the fuck is going to pick the frozen tundra over sitting and watching a game there freezing your balls off rather than sitting in comfort in Dallas Stadium, bro? Stop it. That's a stupid-ass question. But Mike McCarthy heads back to Green Bay, where he won a Super Bowl, where he helped lead a team to a Super Bowl, rather, I guess you could say. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers coming off of 5 losses in a row, but a terrible loss to the Detroit Lions. And I understand Aaron Rodgers' record against these teams, against the Cowboys and all this shit he done to the Cowboys in the past. That doesn't matter. Aaron Rodgers has done great things to a lot of the teams he done lost to this year in the past. The fact of the matter is, I'm judging the Packers off of what I've seen from the Packers this year, and I'm judging the Cowboys off of what I've seen from the Cowboys this year. Listen, I don't know if Dak Prescott go out there and light the fucking Packers defense up, because I still think the Packers defense is good enough to put up a competitive game against Dak Prescott. However, the defense for the Cowboys is about to light Aaron Rodgers' ass up. I can see them sacking Aaron Rodgers a couple times in this game and picking him off a couple times in this game. It just is what it is. The Packers are not a good team right now. The offense is not good right now. Aaron Rodgers is not good right now. It was a report I read that his receivers is getting pissed off at him continuously throwing them under the bus. Like, you got a quarterback throwing a ball off of offensive lineman helmets and shit, and he blaming his receiver for every fucking thing. So it'll be an interesting game, ultimately, because it is still Aaron Rodgers at the end of the day. But I definitely got Dallas going on. And listen, I could see, Dak Prescott possibly struggling a little bit in this game because it is on the road in a loud, hostile environment. But you get up just what? Man, go up one touchdown against the Packers and you basically done won the game because of how much they struggle scoring the ball. And this ain't no Dallas defense that's just going to go out there and be giving up points left and right. So, and I understand Dallas defense done had a tough, gave up a couple points the last week. But I got Dallas winning this game. The Saints head into Pittsburgh to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers in Week 10. And I got the Saints winning this game. Now, I don't know if I don't know if Andy Dalton is starting in this game. I don't know if Jameis is starting. I'm pretty sure Andy Dalton is starting. They didn't make any indication that they was going to bench Andy Dalton for his production that he done had the last couple weeks. But the thing is, I have no faith in the offense of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know they're coming off of a bye week, I believe. But I still have no faith in the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. I don't think it's a good offense. I think it could even make it. I think not only could the offense throw probably. I'm not even concerned about the number of picks they could throw. I'm worried about how many sacks they could incur. I'm worried about how many times the quarterback could get hit. How tough it's going to be for the Pittsburgh Steelers to run the ball because they already don't run the ball good. And they don't have a dynamic quarterback like a Lamar Jackson who can offset some of the things that the Saints do well on defense just because you have a quarterback who is as dynamic as he is. So I do think this could be a long day for Pittsburgh, even though they are at home. And I don't even think it'll be necessarily a high-scoring game because I don't think the New Orleans Saints offense is really that great either, if at all. But I can see Alvin Kamara having a decent game. I can see them dunking their way into a lot of into like 2 to 3 scores, 2 scores. I think it'll be a relatively close game. It could probably be 6 points to separate both teams at the end of the day. It could be a sloppy game and all that, but I do think the Saints will find a way to end up coming away with this win. Arizona heads to LA to take on the Rams. Now, I do want to pick the Rams. I really want to pick the Rams because Kyler Murray is not good against the Rams. And usually, over the last couple years, y'all done seen me pick games based off of how good teams, like I talk about how Russell Wilson is atrocious against the Rams, right? But the Rams are atrocious this year. And I just told you, I don't give a damn what Aaron Rodgers did to these teams he done lost to in the past. Because like I said, I'm going off of what he's doing this year. And so with that being said, as much as I don't really like this Rams team either, I like them a little bit more than I like. Man, I cannot pick this Rams. I don't know how to chart. I was finna say the Chargers. Man, this is a tough fucking game because I do not like Kyler Murray's offense, this offense for the Cardinals. But I despise the offense for the Rams. I think the Rams defense is good, is great. I don't know if they create enough turnovers in this game to beat Kyler Murray because as bad as Kyler Murray can be, and it feel like he's throwing an interception or a fumble a game at this point, having at least a turnover a game, I don't know. I know Kyler Murray and them can still give me 21 points. And Kyler Murray not even having the best season. He only got 10 touchdowns. I think Kyler Murray got 8 interceptions. No, he don't got 8 interceptions. He got 7 or 6. But I know his stats is a little ugly this year so far. And I don't even know how many rushing touchdowns he got. But the offense for the Cardinals just has not looked good this year. Haven't looked in sync. The Cardinals, I don't know what the stats is for their drop back passing offense, but this got to be one of the worst drop back passing offenses in the NFL. Gotta be. Most of the damage they do is when they doing this backyard shit. I don't know how good the Cardinals offense really, I know how bad they can be. I really don't know how great they can be yet because they haven't shown us how great they can be. They haven't had a game where it's like, okay, if they do that, then you know what I'm saying? Like, I done seen them dink and dunk teams to death and be able to take advantage of defenses that let you do that. But that's why it's so hard for me to commit to picking them against this Rams team, because the Rams defense is atrocious too. I mean, not defense. The Rams offense inspires me none. They do not inspire me at all. I think they'll struggle scoring even at home. That's why they couldn't beat the Bucks last week, because they could not score again, and that's what eventually let the Bucks come back and win this game. And I think Aaron Donald could have a great game. Listen, Aaron Donald done had a lot of good games. Jalen Ramsey done had good games. It don't seem to matter because of how just god awful. And I say this, when your offense is not even competent, like they are just atrocious compared to what your other side of the ball doing, this is what's gonna happen. And so this is a tough one. I'm gonna just be willing to be wrong on this one. I'm gonna take the Rams to find a way to beat the Cardinals in this one. Because while I think both teams is bad teams right now, the one thing that I like on either side of these two teams is the Rams defense. I don't like the Rams offense. I don't like the Cardinals offense. I don't like the Cardinals defense. I don't like the Cardinals special teams necessarily. I don't necessarily like the Rams special team. But I do love the Rams defense. So I'll take the Rams to win this game somehow. Defense gets it done. I have no faith in Matthew Stafford. Of course, he got a whole bunch of interceptions after leading the league in interceptions last year. I think he he not one. I think he in the top 3 in interceptions. I know that for a fact. Seattle, Tampa Bay. I think they Munich. They in Munich. 9:30 game. The London game. I think I could be wrong, bro. Don't quote me, man. Don't quote me. I just know it's a 9:30 game, and I just be imagining all the 9:30 games be in London. But either way, this is another one of them games. I want to take the Seahawks, right? Because obviously I see what the Seahawks been doing. I done took them the last couple weeks. I told you I'm just gonna believe in what Geno and them boys is doing right now, even though I do not like Pete Carroll, what he been the unnecessary shots he been taking at Russ. Here's my thing with this Seahawks team. I do trust that they can still put up a lot of points in this game. But I also want to see what they do against the Bucks, because the Bucks have a better defense. They do have a decent defense, the Bucks. And listen, this is a team that beat the Broncos. Now, they did play the Broncos the first game of the season. I'm interested what would happen if they had to play that Broncos defense again, now that the Broncos defense done got their feet under them and they in season shape. But I'm not taking nothing away from the Seahawks. They are a better team right now than the Bucks. I am still taking the Bucks. This is pure biasness for Tom Brady. I just feel like Tom Brady is not going down like this. He is going to figure out ways to win these games. The defense is good enough to keep them in games and keep them close enough till Tom Brady can work his magic. I think this will be one of them days where the body clocks is off a little bit. The Seahawks might have one of their struggles on the season. They average 30-something points. They might only be able to put up 20-something points this week. And while, yes, Tampa Bay has struggled to score, and I don't necessarily understand why, aside from just players are not having the best seasons, because Mike Evans is on the field. Julio done been off the field a lot, so I get that one, but Chris Godwin done been on the field. So if dudes could get back to doing what they do, and they don't run the ball good at all, and that's a lot of that got to do with the offensive line being banged up for Tampa Bay. But because I have faith that this defense for Tampa Bay will figure out a way to keep this game close enough, figure out ways for Todd Bowles will figure out ways to confuse Geno Smith and get him to give you the ball at least once or twice in this game. I do think they'll figure out ways to shut the run game down. I think Villa will make some plays. I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win a close game by at least like a game-winning field goal or maybe 6 points. But I got to go with Tom Terrell because I just feel like Tampa Bay is about to start surging. They about to find ways to get back into this division and get back into this race and prove. I'm going to tell you right now, I saw on Colin Cowherd's show today where Nick Wright was like, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Tom Brady gonna sneak into the playoffs with a 7-10 record, and he finna be playing dudes like Geno Smith. He finna be playing dudes like Dak Prescott. He finna be playing dudes like Jimmy Garoppolo. He gonna end up beating them dudes and getting to the Super Bowl. And we go like, oh, he did it. You're damn right. That's what's about to happen, Nick Wright. You're damn right. But with that, those are my predictions for Week 10. I actually did a video for the Week 9 recap, but the audio sounded so terrible. The audio didn't sound terrible. I sounded terrible. Like I sounded so unenthused. I was speaking so low because my illness, I guess, was taking the best of me that night. I don't know what it was, but it doesn't matter now. We're here. But with that being said, I appreciate y'all so much for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. Oh, hey, actually, before we get on up out of here. Oh, no, I talked about it already. Yeah, tell somebody you love them. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, you know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy. Scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber. You out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.